we're on solving equations. We're on solving equations. So now we're going to take everything that you've done so far and we're going to apply it. You're going to be given a word problem and asked to write out like a formula for it. You're going to be asked to solve that formula and all that good stuff. Let's do question number 20 on that sheet. There's two parts to this problem. Write a formula and use the formula to solve the problem. Question 20. Find the length of a rectangle whose perimeter is 34.6 centimeters and whose width is 5.7. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a picture. When in doubt, draw a picture. Here we go. There's a rectangle. Rectangles have widths and they have lengths. And we should have some kind of key telling us that this is what these symbols represent. W equals the width and L equals the length. Yep, there you go. So that's our picture. It's going to help us visualize the problem. Let's do part A, perimeter. Perimeter, 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 perimeter. When we talk about perimeter, what do we mean? In real life, where would you see that kind of calculation? It's used all the time, by the way, this one. Perimeter. Around, like, suppose you have a property and you want to put a fence up on your property, okay? That's perimeter. You'd need to like measure out the edge of the property all around, and then whatever that is, then you go to the shop and you say, I need like this much fence. You know what I'm saying? So how do you calculate perimeter? Think about it. What would you be doing for this shape? What's up? Very nice, very nice. Yeah, perimeter for a shape is going to be equal to length plus width plus width. That's the easy way of writing it. And the more elegant way of writing that out is to say 2L plus 2W. Let's do part B. Let's do part B. Now, we got to read the problem. Now that we drew a picture, we got our formula down, right? Let's think about what are we being asked to solve for? What are we trying to find? We're trying to find the length. What are we going to fill in? In other words, like, what are we going to sub in? There's some numbers in that problem. Where do they go into? Yeah, what goes in for the perimeter? What does it say the perimeter is? So perimeter is 34.6. It's going to go in right over there on the left. 34.6. And then they give us another number. What is that going to go in for? For the what? The width. Okay, so we got 2L plus 2 times, what number is going in for the width? 5.7. Nice. So it's, all right, now that everybody's got that calculator out, what's 2 times 5.7? What, how much is it? Okay, 11.401. And what do we do from here? Joe? Yeah, you're the man. Very nice, buddy. And what happens when we subtract that? What do we get? Whoops. Computer. And how much how do we figure out how much L is? Jordan, take your hood off. Divide by 2, yeah. And what do you get? How much is it? And so here's where we got our answer, right? But when you have a word problem, you have to answer the full question. So let's go back, and what does it ask for? Find the length of the rectangle. Did we find it? We found half of it? Yeah, we found all of it. 11.6 equals the length. Maybe we'll put a box around that. I'm just bringing that up, that we always have to check the dimensions in the end because they get real sneaky about these things, okay? Remember that. 11.6 equals the length. All right, next problem. Let's do 21. Take a minute, let's read it. Let's do 21. Let's do 21. Let's do 21. Let's do 21. Come on. You know you're being recorded. Yeah. Come on. I'm sending that to your mom. Okay. So now let's do 21. Let's do 21. The length of the second side of a triangle is 2 inches less than the length of the first side. Oh, that's a lot of words. What kind of shape did it talk about, though? Let's draw that in. Maybe that'll help us a little bit, right? And this is not drawn to scale. I know my triangle looks all, like just every side looks the same, but it's not. So the length of and then it says the length of the second side is 2 inches less than the length of the first side, and the length of the third side, oh my God, is 12 inches more than the length of the first side. Oh, that is terrible. That is a crazy set of words. Let's see if we can try and decipher that. Does anybody have any ideas for it? Like, what can we do? That's one of the formulas for a triangle Pythagorean theorem, but not for this one. What? Let's talk about, okay, let's talk about this one. That 1/2 base times height is for the area, but what do they want in the end of this triangle? The perimeter. The perimeter. So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that for a minute. We don't know what the sides are, but we do know that it asks for perimeter, and perimeter is going to be equal to. No. We talked about what happens if you owned a piece of property that was the shape of a triangle. How would you figure out like how much fencing you would need? What would you do? Yeah, you'd measure what? How do you find perimeter? What do you always do? Count what? Yeah, you add the sides. Perimeter, you add the sides. So it's going to be the first side plus the second side plus the third side. All right, well, that's a good start. Now we are faced with the dilemma that we don't know the sides. And it gives us a really complicated bunch of words telling us what they are. Let's see if we can decipher that. The length of the second side of a triangle is 2 inches less than the length of the first side. So I'll give you a hint. We got to use a variable, x. What do you want x to be? The first side, the second side, or the third side? I like Tyrena. I like the way she thinks, Tyrena. You're great. X equals first side. No, because all the sides are not the same. Okay. X equals the first side. If x equals the first side, then read that sentence again. Watch the magic, right? The length of the second side is 2 inches less than the length of the first side. How could you write the length of the second side? No, close. Alexis, the reason you can't start to use y's is you really, in math, the problems that have lots of different variables in them, like x, y, a, b, that they become really complicated. You always want to try and have them be the same one. Very nice, Tyrena. You are doing an amazing job with this. Yeah, the second side is 2 inches less than the first. So x minus 2 equals the second side. No, where'd you get that plus 1 from? No, not even that. Read. Yes, it's going to be x plus 12 because in the second sentence it says the length of the third side is 12 inches more than the length of the first. All right, so now we know which the sides are. We're going to fill them in for this. P equals, that first side was x, the second side was x minus 2, and the third side was x plus 12. And if you simplify that, 1, 2, 3x plus 10. And now we're going to do part B. We're going to try and solve for these sides. So 73, it said, was the perimeter. 73 equals 3x minus plus 10. What do we do when we have an equation like that? Sulema. Very nice. Wow, I like the vocab too. It was great. Additive inverse. Yep. We're going to subtract 10 from both sides. We get 63 equals 3x. How do we get x by itself? Yep. Divide by 3. X equals 21. That's our answer, right? Why not? I like the way you're thinking, Alexis. Let's take a look at the problem, right? What do we have to like plug back into and whatnot? What do we have to do? It says, well, we got to find the length of each side of the triangle. Find the length of each side of the triangle. Find the length of each side of the triangle. How could we do that? Tyrana. Yeah, we are going to take the fact that, so let me go big screen for a minute. Let me go big screen. You see, we know that x is 21, and these three statements over here describe the different lengths of the triangle. That's why we wrote them down. It was so important. So we are just going to take this number, and we're going to plug it in up over here to find the lengths of the sides of the triangle. Let's do that. Let's do that over here. So we're going to plug 21 into that first one. 21. So there we go. There we go. There's all of our sides to our triangle. All we did once again was just plug back into our original statements. Yep. That's all we did. Let's do one more problem together and then we're done. I'll give you your homework. Come on. Last one, and we have to do it kind of fast. So there's a rectangle, right? There's a rectangle. Here's our rectangle. Our rectangle has some widths and it has some lengths. And let's have a key also and talk about width and L equals the length. Okay, all right. Now, right? The perimeter, it says the width of a rectangle is 3 yards less than its length. The perimeter is 130 yards. Find the length and width. Well, it's asking for perimeter. Let's write that formula down. We seem to know that. We did that before. P equals W plus W plus L plus L. That's the same thing as 2W plus L. We learned that already. True? True, true. So it said the perimeter, it also says in that first statement, the width of the rectangle is 3 yards less than the length. The width of the rectangle is 3 yards less than the length. How could that help you? How could you rewrite the W's with L's? You don't know. You don't know. We're going to try and figure it out. But remember what I told you, Alexis. When you have more than one variable in the problem, it always poses a bit of an issue. The width is 3 yards less than the length. Go, Alexis. I'll show you, right? Let's do what you're planning on doing. So here's our formula for perimeter as we know it right now. Let me skip a few spaces. It tells you in the directions that the perimeter is how much? So watch what happens if you try and plug the perimeter into a formula that has two different variables. You see, it doesn't tell you what the width is and it doesn't tell you what the length is. So we are screwed right now, right? There's nothing we could do. It's not like one of them gets isolated. But it does say something in the directions. It says that the width is what? Read that first sentence. What does it tell you about the width? Then the what? The width is 3 yards less than the length. No, you can't do that. It tells you that the width is 3 yards less than the length. So isn't it true that W minus the W is the same thing as L minus 3? The width is 3 yards less than the length. 3 yards less than the length. Do you know what I'm saying, Elizabeth? So watch what you can do now. You can kind of like scratch off these, and instead of having a W, you can write L minus 3. Okay? And you could also sub them in. So now P equals 2 times L minus 3 plus 2L. So we get P equals, right? 2L minus 6 plus 2L. Sure, so how much is P equal to? Minus 6, right? Well, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome because now we can erase our original part, right? And we could put 4L minus 6. That's something that's easy to solve. There's only one variable, and we can do all of our good stuff that we know how to do. Check this out. We can like add 6 to both sides, cross it off. That's 136. And this is going to be 4L, right? We got to divide both sides by 4. I don't know if anybody has a calculator. Actually, I do. I gave them all to you. Jordan, what's 136 divided by 4? What is it? 34, right? So 34 equals L. Are we done? No, because remember. We need to plug back in. So 34 equals the length. And then what did it say? How much smaller is the width? Good. So what's the length? What's the width? I'm sorry. 31, because the width is 3 shorter. Yep.